Hi, Luminaires. Hello, hello. My name is Jamie Butler. I'm the Everyday Medium, and I welcome you to the channel. Thank you. I see familiar names. And if this is your first time, welcome. Thank you so much. Today, we're going to be trans-channeling. I say we because I feel like it's a joint effort. We're going to be trans-channeling a guide of mine named Maitland to give you July 2024's energy update. It's a lot to take in. So grab a pen, grab a pencil. We'll also be writing down a few specifics here. I do have Colleen Ziegler off camera.
Hi, everyone.
There she is. And she will be reading the chat thread here, making sure that everybody is gaining their clarity. I'm making up words. Getting clarity on the questions they have about the content. We're not going to be taking personal questions for the energy update, but we do that here on our YouTube membership for our Q&A. So if that's something you're interested in, I would love to see you there. Hi, everyone. Hey, if you are interested in learning more about what we do here and bringing the woo-woo to the true and normalizing all this great spiritual work, please check out my website, JBMentorships.com. Sign up for the newsletter. It's like the easiest thing because sometimes a lot is going on, but it's very simplified and put out easily to read in the newsletter. I do have approaching trans-channeling coming up July 17th. That's over on the Learn It Live platform where I can see your face and you can see mine, and we chat about the content of trans-channeling, which is what I will be doing today. I also have a day workshop of compassionate communication. And boy, I could take up some time talking about compassionate communication, but we're here for July's energy update. So my guide, Maitland, is going to come through and talk about what chakras are going to be needed, challenged, and supported for the month, what crystals match with those energies, how we can use them in a grid around our bed and our home, and then also, the list goes on, as I said, also what frequency is nice to receive for this month to help with the energies that are coming in, and essential oil recipe, as well as spirit animal. So do you have to take all of that information and apply it? No, you don't. She is just such a thorough little sprite of an angel. She is giving out information so that you can pick and choose what really works for you and how you want to approach your spiritual balance for July. Okay. If you want to see Maitland also in action, we're doing some live channeling events because the physical space we normally work in here in Atlanta, Georgia is being redone. So we will be online July and August. Hope to see you there. Okay, this is good, right? Let's start. If you are sensitive, you will feel a shift in your body. If you like that, I think it's great. Stay with it. It's a little bit of a lift and an expanded feeling. If it's too much for you, just kind of pull back from your device. Maybe drink a little something, nibble on some chocolate. Here's your excuse to eat some chocolate and stay grounded. But you will stay in your body. And if you are practicing seeing subtle light energy, you can check out the right side of my body, which is over here, between my ear and my shoulder, not the wall, not me, but just kind of the space. And you'll see that little whimsical shift of energy as I leave and Maitland comes in to communicate. Doing good?
Yes.
Okay, afterwards, I won't be coming back to say goodbye, so I'm going to say goodbye now. And thank you so much for being here. If this is something that you like, let us know. We are very much into hearing from you, Luminaires, and what your feedback is. And please like, subscribe so you can stay in touch with us and hear about what we're up to here on YouTube. Yay, the heart's coming through. Here we go. Now I get nervous. That is the hardest part, to stay like aware and remember everything I want to communicate to you before channeling, because I just want to fall into trance and just leave. So I'm getting my wish right now. Okay, check out about here. Have a great rest of your day. I'm here, but I'm having a really long yawn. Hi. Hi, my name is Maitland, Maitland, but I noticed that Jamie didn't explain really who I was. So if you're watching me for the first time, I am 9 years old. I present myself as 9 years old because I like to present myself as 9 years old. It's an age I think that is very magical because we can talk about very complex ideas and situations, but we simplify them and we make them a lot of fun, and it's not as threatening. And also, I really enjoy how quick and fast that a 9-year-old can cover information and just leave it and move on. And that is why I present myself this age. And I am here today to deliver in a very fun way the information for July 2024. I'm going to curl up my legs now. Can I move this?
Yes.
Do, 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 do. There you are. Let's do this. Okay, so I like to break it up into months. And I'll talk about the first week, but when I mean the first week, I mean like the day 1 through 6. That's the first week. Then 7 through 13, and then 14, like that. Okay. So you can't really look at your calendar and think of it that way. And I like to name every month. And for this month, I call it Pay Attention to the Connection. You are going to want to remember this because if you can develop this practice of paying attention, so it means to observe, to give energy to the actual connection. And I'll talk about this a lot, especially between the dates of July 13th and 20th. And I'll remind you. And if you have a calendar that you use on your phone, or if you have it on your computer, you can just type the information right in there because it's kind of fun to get those reminders. But if you're a part of the membership from like the second and the third tier on the membership here, then I make the calendar for you over on the Google Calendar, and you can have it there. Okay, here we go. Also, I teach a little bit more about the month right after this for the middle and the higher tiers in the membership. So if you're part of that, then I'll see you then, and we can get more personal about how the energy of July is really affecting you, because sometimes you just really want to know that information, and so we leave time for that. It's more personal. Okay, so here's the bigger picture. July 1st through the 4th is really what I want to talk about, because this is like, I want you to know that during this time, the energy that's coming in is really kind of focusing you towards an outcome. Like it's getting you to go somewhere, but it's doing it by activating like your daydream, your creativity, and your intuition. But like some people get so overwhelmed and caught up with that energy that you start thinking about all the things that didn't go well and what you didn't really like. But the energy that's coming in wants to make an outcome. So if you're slowing down and thinking about what didn't work and what you don't like, then what's coming in is going to feed that instead of the outcome that you're looking for. So if you're more heady, the first week is going to be a little bit more challenging because I want you to really stay focused on the details of the outcome that you want to manifest. If you're more of a creative and more heartfelt, like left side of the brain, you're going to have a really great time because it's just like, let's live here and let's be here. And the energy is going to kind of move back and forth between the head and the heart, like between the third eye and the heart. And this pushes up right against the first date that I will mention is the 5th, which is the new moon. And the new moon is very positive, it's optimistic. It wants to put a smile on your face. It wants to talk about family, and it wants to bring community together. And it wants you to connect with your heart. Key word here for this month is connection. I want you to connect with your heart. And then as this new moon energy rolls in on the 5th, it's pushing you into the next day, which if you want to mark your calendars, you can mark it down for the 6th, is a great day for community. Like let's get everybody together, because even if you haven't been together for a little while, when you get together on this day, everything is a little bit smoother, it's a little bit lifted and brighter, easier. And sometimes it's not so easy to get groups of people together, but community on this day will feel very like rallied around to support each other. And that's all coming off that sweet mothering, cradling energy of the new moon, which is very nice because the two full moons, the one that came before is in the Capricorn, and the one that's coming afterwards on the 21st is Capricorn 2. And that's kind of like straightforward energy. It's kind of like you need to take responsibility of things. So it's nice to have the phase of the moon be a little bit more gentle and more mothering and cradling. So it's very nice. So mother cradle energy fifth leads into community, which takes us to the second week where relationships are going to continue to build. Like, I'm really enjoying the second week. It is going to give you more of a heady focus. Like, we need to really observe, we need to use our conscious thoughts, but it has a lot to do with connection, which is emotional. So we come off the new moon, mother and sweet, community, and then relationships start to flourish. They start to take off. It's like they got enough fertilizer, they have enough sun and rain, and they're just going to grow. And sometimes your relationships will just grow spontaneously, where like several days before, you will feel like maybe you had a hard time in this relationship, whether it's family or friend or business. And all of a sudden you come back to it and it's lovely. And you just look at them and you say, thank you so much. It's like a level up. All of a sudden you have more room for understanding and acceptance, and they have more room for understanding and acceptance. And it just feels really good. So if you're having some tension in relationships, the energy that's rolling in 5th, 6th, 7th, 8th, 9th is all going to help that, because it's creating and bringing in more intuition and more passion and more like sweetness. And it starts to build this way until like the 11th, which I call the best date day. Like, if you want to have a date, or if you want to get together and have some romance, if you want to call it romance, you can put a special date on July 11th, because the energy that's coming in, it's different than the mothering sweet energy. It's more like I'm giving you sparks. The energy that's rolling in is you have this passionate feeling that you want to achieve something and do something, but you want to be with somebody. Like, I know I'm not alone. I can just be with you. And so I have a barrette in my hair. Whoops. All of that starts to come together, and then it lands on the 11th very strong. And from here, on this like romance day, it's full of acceptance. I see you eye to eye. It's more easier. Even if you're hearing conflict from someone, your frequencies have lifted during this week, where you're listening to the conflict, but you don't respond back with conflict. It's like you're listening and you go, oh, you're having a hard time. Okay, well, what would you need? And your heart's not racing, and you're not worried, and you're not sweating like some people do. You're just very much in it without needing to defend or fight back. And this in general is for the people who are already on their spiritual awakening. So you've already been looking at meditation. You've already been looking at mindfulness. You've already added a few of these lessons to your plate. And so you'll begin to notice this lift from the new moon pushing you all the way to the 11th. And you'll be aware of this, and you won't fall back into old doctrinated patterns of getting into arguments to get things done. Like, you'll get into acceptance to move things forward. So then it pushes you towards the end of the second week and into the third week. So I want to pause and talk a lot about the 13th through the 20th. So the 13th starts this whole awareness around what you're connected to. And so for you, I'm going to talk to you in kind of parts right now. For you who have already been experiencing like timeline shifts where you feel like you were in one path and then maybe the next day you are not on the same path. Like you look at where you're going and you say, that's unusual. I don't want that anymore. I'm a completely different person. So this is where, sorry if this gets too wordy, but this is where parallel lives can blend in and you merge your knowledge and your experience, and immediately your outcome of how you want to live your day-to-day life shifts. This is going to be happening more commonly. So if you've already found yourself there, then you're going to experience between the 13th and the 20th this kind of like a jump in consciousness, a frequency lift. You'll feel less dense in your body. It's like density is dissolving. You make more decisions from your light body. You base your reactions on emotions. You're less likely to be triggered. You're less likely to defend, and your old indoctrinations of how to be human have just kind of drifted away. Now, if you've just started your spiritual journey or awakening or interests, or you can really call it whatever you want, then some of what you're going to experience between the 13th and the 20th with the energy that's coming in. This nose tickles so bad, I don't even know what to do. It won't sneeze and like it won't stop. Is this what it feels like when I mess with you? Oh, I can see that would be annoying. I don't think I'll ever stop it, but I get it now. Okay, so if you've just begun on your journey, then what you're going to be experiencing is this lifted perspective, and it will feel more optimistic and exciting. It's not going to feel like a challenge, like you're taking on something larger than you and you have to learn how to hike the mountain and spend all that time and exert your energy and finally you succeed. Not like that. That's old human storytelling. This is coming to and going, I'm connected to the trees. I'm connected to life. I'm connected to the person on the other side of the street. I'm seeing beauty in things. It's like you gain this kind of childlike wonderment. That's what it's called, wonderment, like a wow. And so if you follow that, what you'll end up doing is unlocking truth. So more truths will come forward. You will see more clearly what frequencies aren't in alignment with you. So that will translate into, example, my friend is behaving in a certain way, and I used to be totally okay with it. But now I'm not. It doesn't work for me. I need to say something about it. Or I need to go ahead and let this friendship go because actually it has been bothering me for some time and now it's too much for me. And I can see that we're in different places. So you will notice something that's not in alignment with you and you will have this need to address it and be a part of that connection. Why is that connection there? And you might have a lot of goodbyes if you're at the beginning of the journey. If you're listening in and you're like, I haven't even started this, but somebody told me to come watch this, and I think this is pretty amazing. No, maybe you think this is kind of weird to have a spirit borrow a person's body, but you're still here and you're listening. So the journey of connection, where you're paying attention to connection, is going to feel a little muddled. You will want to be yourself, but I almost feel like life is fighting you because life and the energy that's around you, saturating the earth, is trying to show you a way. It's trying to lift you up, but you're just hanging on to the concrete. You're just hanging on, like trying to make yourself so much heavier so you don't fly. And you're exerting more energy to avoid and not move forward than to pay attention and observe. So the path 13th through the 20th, take the easiest route for you. You'll find more truth. You'll have a lot more passion. You'll have a lot more energy. You'll have a lot more energy to go and manifest something that you want to do. And then your intuition is going to come forward a lot more. You'll feel lighter than before So we can call that the dissolving of the densities. And then right before the end of the, like to the 20th, the 19th will be, I think in the like the 60s and the 70s, they called it a smoke break. You know, where you would smoke your cigarettes. I will call it a day of rest. So on the 19th, it's just kind of like, it's like when you're at the top of your breath and you have all the oxygen in your body and your body doesn't need anything. It's like, oh, I feel good. So you're going to want to just rest and do that however you want. That could be outside, inside, it could be gardening, it could be rest, can be doing something, but it's chill out. Because then the 20th is like the pinning the tail directly on the donkey. That's the 20th. That is when the subconscious says, I want to take a peek. I want to come to the surface. I want to come meet you where you are while you're awake, not when you're sleeping anymore. I want to come to the surface when you're walking down the street, when you're typing on your computer, when you're talking on your phone. I want to come to the surface. And subconscious is going to begin to touch in like that. And this begins on the 20th. So if you've taken the time to pay attention to your connections, when the subconscious comes up, it feels comfortable. It feels right. And then some of you, if you're very heady, you're going to wrestle with the idea of, is this real? Am I worthy enough? Can I really do this or not? And for those who are going to be less heady, when it comes up, it's going to be, who does this belong to? You're going to try to place it somewhere. What guide is saying this? What is this? My God giving this to me? Is this my spirit team giving this to me? Like, and you're going to look for a source, but it's you. So on the 20th, you're going to start getting used to your own natural powers, and your subconscious is going to start coming to the top every now and then, which puts you right into the full moon on the 21st, right in there. And full moon is about, ooh, that was loud. Oh, I'm so sorry if you were wearing headphones. Okay, it goes right in there and it gives you your responsibilities. And you're like, wait, I just had this wonderful floating experience and I'm discovering me all over again. And now I have to like come back to earth and be responsible. No, but yes, claim responsibility of your own emotions, claim responsibilities of your reactions, of your triggers, of your responses. And when you claim those, you're going to gain a lot more freedom. Because you're not expending a whole bunch of energy trying to explain someone, oh, that wasn't me and I didn't, behave like that, or this is my excuse. There's going to be no room for that if you're taking on your responsibilities. I mean, the full moon isn't going to be that mean, but it is going to say like, come on, rise to the occasion. I'm going to show you a lot more, and it's all based on you, which is going to help you understand your power, which is what the 20th was doing when the subconscious is rising to the surface. It's like, let's understand your power. But then, thankfully, one of my favorite days of the whole month is on the 22nd. And this is like when the energy that has been coming in to inspire you about connections and all of this, it prepped you about relationships, and then connections, and then subconscious, and then your own personal power and all this great stuff. The 22nd, it starts to swirl. And it like kind of makes like a disco kind of light and energy. And it's such a great day for play. And it's a fun day. It is a fun day. So if you're planning on doing something kind of a little fun and outrageous for July, put it on the 22nd. Boop, boop. Put it right there. Yay! Right after the full moon. Well, it's still going to have like full moon energy. Full moon energy like bathes like a day and a half before, a day and a half after. It doesn't just turn on and off for 24 hours. But the 22nd is a lot of fun. And then that fun energy continues to lift you. And it lifts you into a way where if you can maintain that focus at the beginning of the month I talked about, and focusing on what you want to achieve and what your outcome is, the energy is going to continue to feed it. But if you fall back into the, well, this isn't working and that is wrong and this is broken and this is hard, and you go into critiquing and judging and labeling things, the energy is going to feed that. And so it can get confusing, because like not everybody is telepathic. Not everybody can connect to you and go, oh, that is where you're coming from. I'm psychic, you're psychic. We're all in different phases of life. So take responsibility, focus on what you are creating and manifesting. And then just know when you get to the 27th, it's really time to ground down. Like hit a reset button. I'd like for this to be a solo day, like more of an internal quiet day. So you can kind of reset the waves of energy that are coming in. Because July is not about the conflict. It's not about, oh, it's a hardship and you got to win to achieve. The energy around this month is more like, we got to get you lifted up. We got to get you higher. Okay. So then this comes more into the end of the month where there's a lot of space for personal healing and emotional and empathy and care for self, like especially on the 31st. I forgot I didn't even talk about all the chakras. I really like this month a lot, and I want you to make sure that the bulk of the energy that's coming in is for your benefit. Because I think a lot of times humans like to defend against something that they haven't experienced before, and they try to assess it for what harm it could do. And I want you to really flip that narrative for this month, and that when you're experiencing something new, I want you to ask, like, what is this teaching me? What is this giving me? How is this lifting me? And I want you to look at that outcome, because it's going to compound greatly for this month, and you can really jump in consciousness quite far. Okay, let's talk about our chakras, because the one that's needed the most is the heart chakra. And I picked Chrysoprase. This is an example of Chrysoprase mixed with malachite. Jamie didn't have a solid one, but Chrysoprase, which is about lifting intuition and soothing your emotions and, building connections and protection of the heart. So this is going to be very nice, as the heart is needed greatly in the first week, third week, especially through the 13th through the 20th. It requires a mental focus, but a connection requires your heart to be present. Then the chakra that's going to be supported the most, guess what? It's heart chakra again. But I chose the pink quartz. Pink quartz is all about relationships, compassion, and empathy. It has a lot of sweetness and soothing. Like, this is a great new moon crystal for the 5th. If you really like your crystals and you like to set them up and use them, pink quartz on the 5th, have it ready. So this is going to help when the heart gets challenged, when you're asking yourself, am I worthy enough of this energy? Am I strong enough? Am I enough in this relationship? Because if you focus on the negative, the energy that's coming in is going to amplify the negative. So focus on your outcome so that it gets bigger and bigger. So we have needed, supported, and then we have one more chakra to talk about that's going to be challenged. And I'm wondering if you can guess it, because it's the solar plexus. It's the solar plexus that is completely going to get challenged big time. So I chose the Sunstone. Sunstone has a lot of energy, and it shines like the sun. And it's a little more orange in color, but it's really for the solar plexus. And it's going to push out that light and help clear and balance your auric field, as well as keeping the solar plexus clean, giving you confidence, a boost in self-esteem and in confidence, and everything of that nature is really what you need, because that's what's going to be challenged in this month. If some of you are like, double hearts, 2 heart chakras, I want to know what else is there, I would say the third eye is getting supported too. And so if you really like supporting your third eye, you can use some lapis lazuli this month. And I would keep that casually, like in my car, in my wallet, my purse, something that I could carry around all the time, because the energies that are coming in are a frequency lift. It is a bump up. You have several points in the month that is going to be high frequency downloads. Like July 4th is a perfect example of a higher frequency download. And I think it's great because in the United States, they have a holiday on it. So if you're in the United States, you're celebrating that day. And in the act of celebration, you're more open and willing to receive because you're happy. And that makes it easier for higher downloads to come in. So if you don't have a holiday or something to celebrate on the 4th, maybe you can adapt and just pretend that you have a party going on and pull out some lapis lazuli for that higher frequency to kind of move through your body and shift how you're holding your own frequency, which will affect your personality and how you perceive the world. What I would keep around your bed for gridding purposes, I would definitely keep some black tourmaline. A bed grid is where you have 4 crystals of the same type, and you place one on each corner of your bed. So you're sleeping around 4 of them. So I would have 4 black tourmalines. I would absolutely have 4 pink quartz, like no matter what for this month. If you wanted to get more out of it, then I would absolutely look at the Chrysoprase and adding that to um, your bed grid layout. I was going to say grid bed layout, and I knew that was wrong. And then if you're looking at needing more rest because maybe the energy is so high frequency that it's wearing on you a little bit, you can use amethyst to help kind of soothe and calm. I would not, repeat, I would not put sunstone around your bed. Don't do it. Sunstone is a lot of energy and you might not sleep. I would put it somewhere like, what's the first room that you go into after you wake up? Is that your kitchen? I'd put it in there. If is it your bedroom or your bathroom? Not your bedroom. Your bathroom, I would put it in the bathroom. If you need more energy in the car, I would put it in the car. But I wouldn't necessarily carry sunstone around with me all the time. It's very nice, but it works very quickly. And sometimes for sensitive people, it can give you too much energy and it can be very agitating. The Hertz that I picked for this month that you can listen to like at night on a very, very low tone. Like, when you're really quiet and you're trying to listen to the music and you can barely hear it, that's the amount of volume that you can use. And it would be a 639 Hertz. It's associated a lot kind of with higher heart and sometimes with throat, but it is a frequency of compassion and empathy, and it's heart based. So this is going to help you with especially the 13th through the 20th, where you're paying attention to connection. Remember, connection is the third party in the relationship. You have the I, you have the you, and you have the relationship, which is the connection. So I want you to give more observation and energy to the connection, which is the relationship. So then there's no strange third party in the room with you anymore because you're really intimate with it. The spirit animal that I picked is the nightingale bird. Not the nightingale floors, the wood floors that you step on and they go squeak, squeak, squeak. But that could be a reminder of like divine soul energy. It's the nightingale, especially the nightingale song. Like the nightingale's song is like the soul's search for divine. It is this, I am open and receiving and I'm willing and, give to me. I will fly with this. And so if you hear the word nightingale, if you see the image of the bird, if you see the bird, if you hear the bird, that is all reminders of this month saying we're reaching up to new frequencies and to definitely pay attention to connections. Have I mentioned that before? I could have. If you're into smells and in a good way, then the essential oil recipe is this. There's 4 of them this time, but I'll say it in 2 ways because some people don't really like lavender, and lavender is in this mix. So the first element is rose oil. That's 4 drops of rose oil. And rose is associated to the heart chakra. Rose is love, compassion, openness. And then we have 3 drops of lemongrass. Lemongrass is the solar plexus. It's going to be a little bit more of the grounding element. And lemongrass is a little bit more of a personality protector, a protection. Then we come into lavender, which is crown chakra. Crown, and that's going to deal with like your psychic awareness and spiritual awareness. That's 2 drops of lavender. And then 2 drops of Atlas cedar wood. Cedar wood is your grounding element. And it's also a really nice purifier for the energy that you carry around you. So it kind of cycles and cleans and cycles and cleans. So you have rose oil at 4, you have lemongrass at 3, you have lavender at 2, and you have Atlas cedar wood at 2. Yes, Atlas cedar wood is different than cedar wood, so you can go smell that out for yourself. And if you're not a fan of lavender, you can just use the rose at 4 drops and the Atlas cedar wood at 2. Just take the top and the bottom note and put them together. It's really, really nice. It's like a heart grounding. And you can put that in a diffuser. You can make a spray. If you're making a spray, you want 4 ounces of a distilled water, and you put up to 64 drops of essential oil. So you can do the mathematics and figure out the ratios to equal up to 64 drops for 4 ounces. That is what we call like the safe, industry safe. It's a 3% dilution, so you can spray it in the air and on fabrics and things of that nature, and it wouldn't create any kind of stains. Do you know an interesting fact about July is that the energy of all this heart stuff, you're going to have more and more Mother Mary sightings in your meditations, in your healing sessions. She's going to be so much more awake and verbal. And for those of you who know Kuan Yin, who's also like a spirit of compassion and love, like she's going to have a lot of presence as well. Did I get through everything?
You did.
There you go. Does anybody have any questions about the content that you need more more clarity on?
We had some questions. If you could cover briefly the economy, including Bitcoin. And then there was some questions about July's weather and significant events around that.
Lots of water in July. Those emotions. Emotions are happening, and water is going to be everywhere. I mentioned last month that the hurricane season, like if you're on the edge of the hurricane map, just expect to have a hurricane. There's going to be a lot of water dispersed at the end of 2024. And I would make sure that you definitely have enough food for 2 weeks, have enough water for 2 weeks, have enough medicine for 2 weeks, and definitely have enough animal supplies for your animal companions too. 2 weeks is enough, but just look at it and just be prepared so that you don't have to be displaced and upset with how nature is behaving. Lots of water. It's helping flush out emotions of people, which is going to be kind of crazy for the United States when they have that vote for the presidency. But we're going to talk about that as we get closer to it, because right now, people's connected energies to the outcome of it are so up and down that the flux of the free will choices is just it's too much to talk about because it's so in flux one moment to the next. For the economy, the banking system and the Bitcoin, it's still like, no, thank you. If you've already invested in Bitcoin and into cryptocurrency, I would leave the money there, but I wouldn't necessarily put more money into it because of its fluctuation, unless you have a very strong eye for watching how the money moves and grows and listen to the systems and stay on top of it like a full-time job. If you don't have it as a full-time job, then I would invest in things like gold and silver, as they are still going to grow and become more steady. So gold and silver by the end of the year is going to be higher than ever. And then it has a chance to peak into the threes, 3,000. That's how you do the numbers, 3,000 in the spring of 2026. So the needle is moving on that and it's more tangible. And when I say invest in the gold, I don't mean invest in the stock of the gold. I mean invest into the actual gold to where you have it in your hands. And then I would keep it around you because it can create a lot of feelings of security and safety. And I really like it when you have that because it brings more calm energy into the earth. It anchors calm energy when you're a little like feeling crazy. Did I answer those 3?
You did. We have a couple more questions for you,
okay.
and then we'll address the rest of the questions during the 3:15 session today.
The deep dive
The
with
deep
Maitland.
So you said a lot of water, and Stuart's asking, what about fire this month?
Fire like in volcanoes or fires like people setting fires to trees or natural fires. I mean, there are going to be some, but it's not going to be like in the past where you've watched the news and it's like half the state has gone up in flames. It's almost like if you wanted to think about it, it's like we had 2 years of fire energy, and now we're about to have a heavy year or 2 years of water. Ding.
And then there was, these would be the last questions. So we had a replacement for Sunstone, if that's possible, and a replacement for Rose Absolute, as it tends to be cost prohibitive for a lot of people that don't already have it.
A replacement for Sunstone. I would carry 2. I would carry Bumblebee Jasper mixed with Tiger's Eye. Boop. I think those 2 together vibrates very similar to a Sunstone. If you don't have the Bumblebee Jasper, I would use the Tiger's Eye. Nice and strong. And for a replacement with Rose, it doesn't have to be Rose Absolute. You can buy Rose, but if Rose is not it, then I like the sweet smell of, you decide between a jasmine or a geranium. I think they both go very nice with the Atlas cedar wood. But think flower essence, sweet and soft flower essence, because that's really going to feed the heart. And then you anchor it with that cedar note.
Thank you so much, Maitland.
This has been so much fun. Thank you so much for being here and letting me do this. Don't forget to hit the like button. Is it the thumb button?
Yeah.
And share it with a friend if it helps you have more dialogue with other people about feeling certain energies. And also when you share it with somebody else and then you call them later and you're like, I'm having these strange feelings, then one might remember, oh, this is about the day where, all of this energy is coming in for this aspect. And you go, oh, okay, I forgot about that. But you can also write it into your calendar. And of course, if you're part of the membership 2nd tier and higher, you can look at the calendar I put together.
And we'll post that link during the deep dive today.
Yeah.
Yes.
I'll see you later, alligators. And for those of you who've been
I'm going to read from the
this.
thread for the goodbyes.
Oh my God,
So we
yes.
have a bye-bye butterfly.
A blowy kiss jellyfish.
Hasta mañana, iguana.
I'll see you soon, baboon.
Got a job, warthog.
I'll see you in the morning, unicorn.
Did you say see you soon, baboon?
I did.
Okay. I was reading Wendy's. I wasn't paying attention. I need some help, guys. I was going to read from the thread. What was it?
I got a sore dinosaur.
There you go. What's the unicorn one?
I see you in the morning, unicorn. You remember the dawn?
Oh, see you in the dawn, little fawn?
Yeah. This is so much fun. Okay.
We need one for the Nightingale. See you there, polar bear.
Oh, that would be so much fun. Oh, that was a good one, though, polar bear one. See, you can have all of this fun on the 22nd, right after the full moon. Just let your hair down and have a little fun.
Bye, Maitland. Thank you.
You're welcome. Bye.